Of the many champions in the League's roster, one stands out amidst all the others. A legend, even among gods, demons, and cosmic beings. He is the only champion whose influence has reached beyond the screen to directly impact our real world. His spirit persists even beyond the deletion of his code and the retconning of his very existence. His name lives on in the hearts and minds of all League players, past and present, whether they be casual, competitive, lore enthusiasts, or trolls. His name is Urf. Urf is a champion who hardly needs any introduction, despite the long and overly dramatic one that I just gave him. League's had a few notable scrapped characters over the years, but none are as iconic as this bizarre individual. In truth, calling him cancelled is being a bit generous, since, as I understand it, Urf was never really meant to properly debut in the first place. His very existence is an April Fool's joke. A champion literally conceived to be so goofy and nonsensical that no one else on the roster could even compare. And when you've got an armored bear and a guy wielding a lamppost in that roster, creating such an outlandish character seems like quite the feat. Regardless, Riot did just that. Even during the era where their design philosophy for new champions more or less boiled down to throw a concept into the game and slowly build their character from there, Urf was something special. I mean, he's a manatee in a lobster bib who fights wielding a spatula, a fish, and a freaking minigun strapped to his back. While Runeterra has arguably gotten even more outlandish entities added to its world over the years, there's no two ways about it. Urf is just goofy on every conceivable level. In spite of his comedic nature, though, Urf has a rather dark in-universe story. The lore goes that he was set to join the League of Legends, actually inspired to do so by Jax, but before he got to properly debut as a champion, our poor manatee was attacked and killed while exploring Summoner's Rift. His murderer was none other than Warwick, who happened to be hunting near the rivers at the time. This was an odd choice, since I'm pretty sure wolves don't eat manatees, but whatever. Anyways, Warwick killed Urf, thus preventing the poor guy from ever actually getting to fight on the fields of justice. This is basically the only time in the old canon where a champion was actually able to kill another outside of a league match, before the summoners intervened to stop them. Despite the tragedy of the situation, however, Riot themselves continued to treat the whole situation mostly as a gag. For one thing, they gave Warwick this somewhat limited time skin called Urfwick, which saw him literally wearing his victim's skin as a suit. Gross as that sounds, Riot donated a portion of all proceeds from players buying the skin to SaveTheManatee.org, a charity that does exactly what you'd think based on the name. Moreover, Urf's ghost was added as an NPC on Summoner's Rift for a time. He usually just hovered passively and barked at champions who passed by, but if he saw Warwick, Urf's spirit would attack the wolf for 1 damage at a time. Warwick players couldn't actually die from this, but it definitely put them at a slight disadvantage. Also, it was just really funny. Eventually, though, Urf's ghost was removed from the game, implying that the manatee was finally put to rest. He would occasionally get cameos and other splash arts, but nothing more. That seemed to be the end of the matter, until 2014 when Riot introduced a new game mode for April Fool's Day called Ultra Rapid Fire. The gimmick of this mode was completely throwing out any pretense of the game being remotely balanced and making all champions as busted as they possibly could be. Everyone started the game at max level, ability cooldowns were cut to a fraction of their usual wait times, and champions that used mana for abilities had an effectively unlimited supply. It was a mode designed to basically throw the competitive mindset of normal League in the trash for a bit and just go absolute ham. Side note, one of my favorite characters to play in this mode was Shyvana, since you can just spam her W and keep the buffs from it active pretty much all game. Anyways, the name of the mode being a clear homage to Urf is one thing, but then the mode's actual mascot on the login screen was this. Yeah, they definitely went all out for this one. A super buff Earth dressed as a Roman emperor and wielding a golden spatula certainly leaves an impression. The mode has been an on again, off again thing that Riot sometimes brings back for April Fool's Day, acting as both a joke and a commemorative event for Earth the Manatee. Of course, the latter seems a moot point since the Great Retcon reset League's entire mythos and, presumably, Earth's existence along with it. Indeed, the manatee appeared to have been officially scrubbed from the game's canon now that the Institute of War was no longer a thing. However, in 2022, Legends of Runeterra gave another little nod to Earth in the Darkened Saga expansion. This is the Golden Spatula, an equipment card manifested through Acafian myths. The description of the latter claims that it's a weapon wielded by a warrior on par with Jax himself, though adds that it's more likely a complete fabrication by the combat cook after one bottle too many. Regardless, the point remains. Earth now has a basis in the new canon, even if it's just as a story told by one inebriated individual after a night of partying. All things considered, I think this is probably for the best. Earth is, at his core, a massive joke character, a meme concocted by Riot as an April Fool's Day prank. He was never meant to be taken seriously or to become an integral part of League's broader mythos. Earth is, at best, a mascot for the holiday that marks his inception. Even so, I find this bizarre manatee oddly fascinating. He's carved out a legacy that endures long after other quote-unquote cancelled champions have faded into near total obscurity, being referenced through Easter eggs and emotes years after the fact. There are even some people who still wish Riot would actually bring Earth back as an actual character. And while I don't personally agree with this take, I understand the sentiment. No matter what form he takes, no matter what the canon may be, there can be no denying that Earth has truly become a legend all his own.